Okay, let's move on here. Okay, now I want you to I'll read this through if you need to pause the video. Now you'll see two parentheses with x. Even though you don't see x to the second power, it's actually there because we have x multiplied by x. So let's look at this first problem here, okay? X multiplied by x would be x to the second. Now I'm not actually going to multiply it because I don't want to do that, but it is x to the second. Now, because if I see x times x, any x times any x is x to the second. Now this is what we call factored form because it's much different than the others, okay? So here's a procedure I'm going to follow. I'll make my table. Now I'm going to set both expressions in the parentheses equal to 0. I'll do that up top. So this expression, x plus 3, and the x minus 5. Now solve each equation. And these are going to be your first and last x's, not the middle. Okay? So 0 minus 3 is negative 3. Okay, and then just add 5 and x equals 5. So that's our first and last x's. So first and last. Now to find the middle x, you need to add the first and last x, so these two, and then divide the sum by 2. What you're doing really is finding the average. Okay, because what these are going to give you is 0, guaranteed. Okay. And actually, I'll tell you what. To find the y's, replace the y's on your calculator, but first and third should always be 0. Okay. We're going to check that. Okay. But they should be when it's set up in this formation. Okay, so how are we going to get that middle x? To find the middle x, you need to add the first and last x and divide the sum by 2. So I take negative 3 plus 5, and that equals 2. And then I divide by 2. So that's 1. Okay, so there's your middle. Now, just to show that this works, we have a negative 2. Okay, so negative 2. Times, you got to, before you go to your parentheses, you got to hit times parentheses, and then I'm going to put negative 3 in, so negative 3 plus 3, so plus 3, and then I close that parentheses off. And then times another parentheses, and we're going to go negative 3, and then minus 5, so minus 5, and then close that off, 0, okay? By the way, you have the option of just putting those as 0 if you think you did everything else right. Now let's put 1 in, because negative 2 times parentheses, now I'm going to put 1, so 1 plus 3, so plus 3, close it, times parentheses 1 minus 5 and close that. Okay, I got 32. Now you're going to get some pretty big numbers in the middle in this form. Okay, now 5, so 2 negative times parentheses 5 plus 3, close it, times parentheses, and then 5 minus 5. Close it. Okay. I got 0 again. Okay, so that's right. By the way, if you want to put those as 0, that's fine. I'll let you do that. Okay. So negative 3, 0. I go left 3, and that's the x-intercept. They're both x-intercepts. Okay. Have it. 132. Now we better go by 5s here. Okay, so 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 32 would be about right there, okay? And then 5, 0, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and right here, okay? So, and these are very wide parabolas most of the time. Okay, so what's it say? I got x times x, that's x to the second, so I got to have 3 points here. Set both expressions in the parentheses equal to 0. Okay, so x plus 1 can equal 0, or x minus 3 can equal 0. So solve each equation. These are your first and last x's. Okay, so that's negative 1, and that's 3. Okay, so those are your first and your last. Okay, now to find the middle, and those will have y values of 0, guaranteed. Now to find the middle x, you need to add the first and last x and divide by the sum by 2. So I add, that's 2 again, and then I divide by 2, and that equals 1, because 1 is halfway between these. Okay, parabola is symmetrical, so, but we got to use a calculator with the 1. So 5 times parentheses and 1 plus 1, close it, times again, you got to hit times every time you do a new parentheses. Parentheses 1 minus 3. I got negative 20, okay? So negative 1, 0. 1, negative 20. So I'm going to go by 5s, but down because it's negative. So 5, 10, 15, 20. And then 3, 0. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then the back side, again, x times x means it's to the second power, so I need 3 things here. So set both expressions in the parentheses equal to 0. So x minus 4 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0. Plus 4, x equals 4. Minus 2, x equals negative 2. Okay, so 4 and negative 2, those are the first and third. Now to find the middle x, you need to add the first, and we know those will carry y values of 0 every time. Okay, so I find the sum of those by adding. It's 2 again. I don't know why I keep getting 2. And then divide by 2. It's not always 2, by the way. So that's 1. Okay. All right, parentheses right away, okay, and then 1 minus 4, close it, times another parentheses, 1 plus 2, close that up, okay. I got negative 9, okay, so 4, 0, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, negative 9, so I go right 1, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, made it just barely, and then negative 2, 0, so 1, 2. Okay. All right, and then the next one, last one. I want to change this. I want to make this into a 3, actually. I just want variety in the examples. Okay, so again, each little expression, so x plus 3 equals 0, x minus 4 equals 0. So minus 3, and that's negative 3, plus 4, and that's 4. So those are your first and third, so negative 3 and 4. Now, those will yield y values of 0, and the reason why is because negative 3 plus 3 is 0. So if one factor is 0, it's all 0. And 4 minus 4 here would be 0, so if one factor is 0, it's all 0. So that's how I kind of know that. Okay, so again, I find the sum. Now this is going to be kind of a little bit weird because I divide by 2, and that's a decimal, 0.5. So we're going to have a decimal. It's kind of odd, but it does happen. So negative 4 times, parentheses, I will be putting 0.5 instead of x. I will be plusing 3 and closing the parentheses there, times, parentheses, 0.5 instead of x minus 4, okay? I got 49, okay? So I'm going to have to go by tens here. So negative 3, 0, 0.5, 49. So you go halfway, and then I'm going to go by tens, 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, and then we'd be right here, okay? And then 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's really all I have to say on that. I hope it's been informative. And go ahead and work.